So, um, so confused. Hello. My screen did something weird, so alright, there we go. I think I got the focus. I think I got everything. Alright. Oh, it's so much to set up. I think I'm all set up before I start, and I realize I forgot one little thing. Alright. So today the plan is to get back to a painting I did quite a while ago. Or I started quite a while ago. I never finished it purely because I went on vacation and couldn't bring it with me. But I knew I'd get back to it at some point. Hey, Leah. Welcome. Good to see you. How you doing? Oh no, you're sick. Or less sick. Sorry to hear that. That sucks. Well, thank you. But I'm sorry you're not feeling well. Hopefully it's mild and you'll be up, and healthy in no time. Mostly tummy troubles. Ah, yeah. You know, uh, that made giving sermon today impossible. Yeah, I can imagine that. It's so funny. We're such delicate things. Like it takes very little sometimes to, you know, what's it called? Like yeah, it doesn't take much to knock us out of commission really. We like I think people like to think they're not you necessarily. I'm just saying people in general like to think they're very very tough, and a lot of people are, but all it takes is like uh certain things, and then you're just that's it. No matter how tough you are, you're out of commission. What kind of sermon do you give? I'm not familiar. What kind of stuff do you do? Like, is this for church or something? I'm sorry, I'm clueless on this. So, if you don't mind me asking. Oh, yeah, take your time. No worries. All right, so to start off with today, I am going to fix a few um, placement issues. And you see a goose? Oh, sorry, that's Michelle. Okay, I got for a second. Yes, Leah, I got that. I just Wait a second. I see. Okay, I see. You're recent. I don't know what that stands for, but I get it. Really bad with like um the acronym. Yeah. Sorry if I also seem spaced out today. I am spaced out today. I don't know what's going on. Just tired. My brain does not want to kick into gear for some reason. I blame my cat for waking me up early today. So I'll just talk about the painting for a minute. Just something I can kind of focus on. So started this 2 months ago, but had to leave it as I was going to Israel to visit family. Um, so it's been a couple months. I thought back to it. I'd like to finish it, and also, so to start out with, I'm just gonna go in and make sure that the drawing's right. Find any that need to fix. Okay, Michelle, that's fine. Um, but yeah, I know some people when they paint, they're very clean with their drawing, and they're able to maintain their drawing very well through painting. I paint a little messier on purpose, but that requires me to go back and do a lot of fixing over and to keep the drawing tidy. Okay with it, not only am I okay with doing that, but I'm also okay with it sometimes. Some areas out perfect. I don't think that's always a bad thing. I think sometimes some of that is adds character. It has to be. I think it's better when it's like a choice and not a lack of ability that causes that. Um, some artists I love a lot do a lot more exaggeration and I guess caricature almost. Their their painting. That is like not something I've explored much other than in like comics or cartoons, but not in oil paint. Oh, hey, John. Good to see you. What was my favorite part of my trip? Oh, I mean, honestly, just visiting with family. Um, I really enjoyed playing basketball with my mom. That was fun, just because it was something I hadn't been able to do for years. So it was, but just hanging with family. It'd been like 4 years since I'd seen everyone. Uh, I also really enjoyed getting to know my um cousins' kids. They're uh they're all becoming teenagers and adults. Um so they're no longer like little kids. Well, most of them. Um so it's I'm not really good with little kids. Like I don't know how to interact with them. But you know, um find it easier to talk to teenagers, I guess. Hey Salmon, welcome. How are you doing, Salmon? We didn't play against each other. We just went and shot hoops. Although um we did play horse a couple times. Um yeah. Although that one is more, you know, evenly matched than anything. If it had been an actual game, you know, uh I would say she probably wouldn't have a chance, purely because of physical issues. But yeah. Uh she used to be a basketball player, so she hasn't played in years and years, but the muscle memory to a degree is still there. And I am not very good at basketball. It's been, forever since I played too. So I was never like on a team or anything. Yeah, no, I'd be afraid of like actually playing one on one with her or something like that. I'd be afraid I'd just knock her over or something. Um, yeah, just even by accident, like not even talking on purpose, just on accident. I feel like I feel like I'm a danger to people, uh, because of how large I am sometimes. So definitely when you add, you know, competitiveness to it, it'll get bad. How well did my mom's team do? Pretty well, from what I understand. It was a long, long time ago, but yeah, she was I don't know, they went to the finals or something in Israel. They didn't win, but you know, still, it's quite the accomplishment. Yeah, this is a long, long time ago though. This is before I was born. Yeah. Street rules, there are no fouls. Yeah. Don't know that I would. I don't feel like I'd get behind that exactly. Have to be honest. I remember in high school, there was people who were much larger than me who were like almost uh one guy almost went pro or wanted to go pro. He was huge, and it like a freight train running you down when he would just like barrel towards you. Yeah, no, it can be pretty scary when someone that large is just like, I am moving in this direction. And even if I wanted to, I probably couldn't change direction in time. You call those people grouper fish, big as fish. If you run into them, oceans, they don't course correct. They just go through you. Yeah. Like I said, I don't think he like. There's one guy in particular I'm thinking of, and I'll be honest, I don't think he could course correct even if he wanted to. Like there's just he was such a big guy. There's just so much mass, you know, running. Once you get that momentum going, how he sounds like the Juggernaut from X-Men. I mean, you know, some similarities, I guess. So, if anyone's curious, the way I'm do in this part of the painting or correction rather is I took a photo and my painting and I overlaid it over my reference. And I used Photoshop to layer it so I can see them on top of each other. I can see where, I need to go in and modify things. It's very useful for placement. It's not useful at all for like painting, but for the placement of everything, it is very useful. Hey Salmon, since I know you go to Nicholas Uribe's stream occasional or often rather, um, you pick up the ebook that he put out? I haven't. I was going to buy it yesterday and I didn't have a chance to, so planning on picking up later today. I'm gonna start with background. Normal go to. First get started, I often feel rusty, so I'll go for things that are easier or that I have less, that I'm more confident in. I mean, or that are less consequential. If stroke slightly off or something, doesn't matter. Like that. So I don't know if it comes across on the video, but trying to mix up two colors that are the same uh, same value, but one's just a little more red in it, green in it, so that when I put it on the background, it gives me a little bit of variation there. So yeah, that's Yeah, and the support is appreciated. Oh, you don't no no pressure there to come in, join in, John. No demands here. Uh, it's appreciated whenever you do. I feel like you came in on a at least boring beginning of a stream because normally I try and like talk through what I'm doing as I'm doing it. Um, even if no one's in chat, I try to like narrate and just go over things. Um, but yeah, I am just feeling out of it today. So my brain is not, I don't know what's going on. Oh no, not my brain. Yeah, I mean, it struggles generally speaking, but like right now it's practically offline. Yeah, I'm doing the coffee thing. Definitely am doing coffee. It might just be that I haven't had enough of it yet. There's that. Working my way through it. So apparently it dropped the connection for a second and then reconnected. Strange. Hopefully it wasn't too noticeable. You saw no difference? That's good. So I saw this interesting video about the color brown, and as a painter, I found it interesting. So brown is such a basic and common color. Like so many things are brown. Um, and you can use it for so much in painting. But the reason I found it so interesting is because the conclusion is that essentially there is no color brown. It's essentially orange, and it's just a darker, desaturated orange. And it's one of those things where if you get into painting, color mixing, you kind of know that intuitively. But it was cool to see it laid out, explained. Also, I guess that means that there's a lot more orange in the world than we think about it. Like, I don't think of orange, the color, being like the most prevalent color there. But yeah, think about it, every brown as being orange or orange in the So I'm using Salo Blue palette to be careful with little go reds, red affects everything. listening to music on roads while playing, while painting. A little too dreamy in my head right now. Very hard to go too dark with the just oh. Hey Carla, welcome. Everyone's doing good. I am really out of it today, like brain fog or brain offline, whatever you want to call it. Just go out of it today. Um, Pretty sure. Well, not sure, but I'm blaming Dresden because he woke me up very early today. Um, but other than that, I'm fine. Pretty out of it. How are you doing? You understand about cats waking up? Yeah, can be little butts about it. And the thing is, it's like, why are you waking me up at 6:30 in the morning? I never feed you at 6:30 in the morning. Like, it's not like I slept in past their normal feeding time. Oh, you like the thank you so much. So the painting is a friend, although this is a friend that was kind enough to uh, participate in a photo shoot for me. So it's not a gift, but we did a photo shoot and a bunch of reference from them. So so yeah, um, there wasn't like a. I guess there was a theme to the photo shoot, but not like a narrative story to it. Um, so just kind of theme in outfits and vibe. I guess I would how I would categorize it. Or a cat enjoys banging on the blinds at 4 or 5 a.m. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. Yeah, Dresden when he wants to wake me up, he'll lick my nose or headbutt me in the face, or just climb all over me and paw at me and purr. And he's very cute when he does it. It's adorable, but I'm also trying to sleep, which is less adorable. Yeah, they always find ways of being annoying. Hi, little boy. We were just talking about you. Yeah. Oh, you're very cute. Oh, hey, hi. Yeah, adorable. He is very adorable. He's also very fuzzy, which translates to a lot of hair everywhere. Yeah, our house is things. Kind of hard to get away from. Uh, Two very fuzzy, fluffy cats, dog. Well, adds to the value of the painting if any attaches. Oh, 100% you are getting cat hair when you get a painting. 100%. There's no question about it. No, Tristan, stop. Oh boy, stop that. It helps with the structure of the paint, is the way I look at it. Oh boy, stop trying to eat the carpet. There's there are photos, very high res photos of paintings, like one that I'm thinking of, Van Gogh specifically. Some of his paintings. Did some of his paintings outdoors on location, and you can see in it like like there's all kinds of stuff. Even bugs are trapped in his paint. Um, Pretty interesting. I think I saw that on Google's like they have like a arts and culture or something like that. You you're saying then if it has cat hair or bug remnant, the artwork is, yeah, for sure. And also, like there's a real copy somewhere versus digital, nothing but digital copy. Like there's an original. I do think as I get into the art more and more, um, I do think that it's the often the imperfections and the mistakes and stuff like that that add a lot to it. And I'm not saying it's a funny thing because I say that and then I try and make things perfect, and most artists I know try to as well. So it's a very funny um, dynamic. Hi, Dresden. I don't know that I like you being underneath my feet like this. I mean, it's adorable, but I'm worried that like if some paint falls, it'll get all over you. Add a little color to his life. No. Besides, the cat. They're mostly colorblind. Does that mean he doesn't know that he orange? Yes, Dresden is at my feet. He literally was like in between my legs, lying down on the. Now he's like right next to me. Thinks he's meow range. I did already show him off. Okay, little boy, that's enough. Now he's trying to attack his tail, his favorite toy. Which is fine. It's just like running into my foot. Hey, no, no biting my foot. Now he's all hyper. All right, Dresden. He does not like the gloves though. Yeah. Carlo, you love to see mistakes in artwork. I think it's exciting, but you're right. When creating it, you tend to try too hard to fix things. Yeah, and yet your favorite pieces might have pencil marks showing. Yeah. Oh, pencil marks showing through the paint. Yeah. No, it's interesting. It's a very interesting dynamic of painting and artwork in general. It's like a lot of it is the opposite aspects of things. That's why 2D animation is the most beautiful. The flaws, yeah. uh, Um, it, it's really it's so interesting because you you know it's so like opposite um of what we try and do when we're doing it, and also it's interesting because you would if the flaws are the like some of the favorite parts, then you would think that like someone who's not good at art, the have nothing but flaws, but it doesn't work that way. It's this weird combination of like someone who's like amazing at what they do, and then there's a little flaw that they left in, and that adds so much to it. There's I don't remember. I think it's the Beatles, but I could be mistaken. But they recorded a song, um, and the I think it's the kick drum, the pedal needed to be needed some oil, but they didn't catch it at the time. And so every time the drum goes off, there's this little squeak that goes off with it. And you can only, like, it's not easy to hear. You have to, like, really turn up the volume and have good, headphones and everything. But it's there. And I think that's so interesting. Like I said, I'm not sure if it's the Beatles or not, but yeah. I don't remember what song it's from. It's from one of their earlier albums, if I remember correctly. Because if I remember correctly, they did it in like one take or something. But I don't. I'm not 100%. It's been a long time since I heard the backstory of it. And there's this other. Oh, it's not a group. It's a one person. Uh, band isn't the right word. Artist who made an album that was popular in the 90s, like maybe in the 2000s. I can't remember. And they recorded the whole album in their apartment. So in some of the songs, you can hear like sirens and like background noise faintly, and that's all just because they couldn't filter it out, well enough to like not hear it at all. Can't remember the name of that person, but um, like one song that was very popular song. I don't know if I ever name. It's just one of those songs that I remember hearing all the time. Yeah, it wasn't in the 90s. If the song comes up in my playlist, because one of those songs is playlist song. Right? Ralph Steedman is amazing. Uh, you appreciate it when Nicholas Rebate draws or doodles when painting. Yeah, I don't recognize that name. Uh, Ralph Steedman. I was better with names. So crap. Any artwork that Hunter S. Thompson paired with it being done by Ralph. Can't say that I'm familiar with it. Definitely look it up later. Can't say that I've really read any stuff. In fact, it's something that people read in school a lot, right? Fear and Loathing, Jokes Over, etc. Yeah. No, never read any of those. I've heard the names, but I've never read them. You wrote a lot about Americana. Yeah. I've definitely heard the name before. Like one of those things where it's like it's in the culture. I've heard it, but I can't say I've ever read any of his books. So again, welcome back. We appreciate you being here, even if it's against your will, apparently. Sounded weird, but what's happening in chat? So for the last, I remember, last couple of weeks, I've been painting on these paintings. Not this painting, on other paintings that were on more textured surface. This one's so much smoother. Smoother surfaces have their own challenges for sure, but I still really enjoy painting on it so much. And there's definitely such a thing as too smooth surface. Hi, Carla. When I paint, do I try and create a feeling? Uh, yeah, absolutely. That's absolutely what I'm trying to do. But it's not, there's a lot of things that go into creating a feeling um, in the artwork. It's everything kind of like the subject, the composition, the color, like it's everything. So it's not at any one particular stage that I try to do that. But yeah, absolutely. I try and create a feeling. I've sometimes I even try and do that um by listening to certain songs over and over again as I'm painting because I want to try and take the feeling that I get from that song and put it into the painting in a way. It's not exactly like a painting method obviously, but there's just something about trying to like be in touch with that feeling so then the choices I make I assume are influenced by that. But one of that makes sense. Music can have an emotional impact, yeah, for sure. The other thing too is that I, with some of my paintings, I'm trying to go for a more ambiguous feeling. Like I, I want it to be open-ended enough where people can project their own feelings onto it to a degree, or find an aspect of it that speaks to them. Once again, that is an influence from music because there's a lot of songs I like where it's not a narrative story. It's just kind of I mean there might have been a narrative story, but it's not as cohesive, and so I can't like I don't know exactly what they're trying to say, but I get a feeling overall, and um, I latch on to certain words, and so that song means one thing to me, but someone else might, interpret it another way. But yeah, you're barely kidnapped. But hoping kimchi helps your tummy. I hope so too. I don't know that kimchi would be where I'd go with that. I think my stomach's upset. I generally just go for like bland toast, but oh, the probiotics, yeah, I understand that part of it. Oh, I'm a sleeping Dresden. So yeah, get back to it, Carla. Absolutely, feeling definitely what I'm going for. I also um try to like I try to avoid very um narrative paintings because they tend to feel more like illustration to me, which is a stupid kind of um not difference, but way of like I don't know, designating paintings like, illustration versus paintings and so on. But I just if it's too much in your face, I feel like it almost crosses over into like um political caricatures or something. I don't know. So yeah, just I try to avoid things that are too much like in your face about what I'm trying to say necessarily. Even though I really want to figure out a way of doing more of that because I do want to sometimes there are things that I want to express that I can't quite figure out a way of doing it in painting. Still connected. That seems all right. Looks like everything. Okay. Wasn't sure. It just kind of seemed like it was glitching out on me. You thought it was frozen, but it was you. Oh, it was weird. Like the stream looked like it was fine, but everything else was having issues. Lucy is snoring under your desk at the moment. Adorable. Interesting. Richard is our dog. A puppy anymore, but actually a bit of an old. Let me see if I can show you Preston. Curled up on the floor. Yeah, he is. If I ever became a full-time, well, but if I did, no, if I ever became a full-time streamer, I I made if I streamed all the time, I would have a cat cam. Or I'd want. I don't know if it'd be possible to actually have one. I would want a cat cam. Oh, a cat cam would be perfect. Yeah, there's some streamers I follow who have cat cams or dog cams or whatever. I should work on getting one. One. You know, I think it would be. The problem is, I don't think it'd be super practical in the sense that like they don't always stay in one area. Leah, yeah, you need a cat cam. Some send cop. Yeah. To who? You or me? Or both? So the consensus is get cat cam. Yeah. I mean, I definitely believe if all I did was film Dresden, make like videos about Dresden, focused my energy on that. Definitely think would be more popular online than I ever will be. That's the internet for you and the cats. So it could if I put energy into it. Especially if I could catch all the um like silly, stupid stuff he does. Because he definitely lives up to the ginger cat stereotype. The stream could be Liat and Dresden. Yeah. I mean, it kind of is at the moment. He definitely would interrupt the painting process. As in would love to be baby carried? What do you mean? Like in a carrier or wrapped? No, you would not. I've tried it. I would have him like in a bag or something, like just hanging, like hanging out with me while I paint, if I could. But he will not go for it. A papoose? I don't know what that is. Basically a bag to carry. Yep, he will not go for it. We tried a few variations. I did the tried a bag. We tried a wrap. Tried sweater with a like a big sweater pouch. Does not. Didn't take method. No, was not happy. going. Okay. Sorry, internet giving me all kinds of mixed signals, like I'm completely offline. And okay, you see me just fine. That's good. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. It's very strange. Punching out for lunch. Well, enjoy your lunch. Glad you're liking the painting. And it was good seeing you. Thanks for hanging out. So I know people are always curious about flesh tones, how to mix flesh tones, or at least I've seen that online a lot. And I don't think there's one formula for mixing flesh tones because there's not one kind of color for flesh tone. They're often saturated than we think they are, and so on. Um, but for like lighter, pinker skin, often for me it's just these two, some white, maybe some black added in there to desaturate a little, or blue to desaturate, either way. Honestly, with my palette, the formula for mixing almost any color that isn't my primaries is either these two, or these two, and then add white and black. So that's one of the reasons I like a limited palette. It's uh it's very straightforward. Do I prefer a specific brand of paint? Not yet. I haven't tried enough brands, I think, to have like a preference. Um, I buy a lot based off of price and quality, but within a price range. I mostly buy Gamblin and Winsor Newton because they're on the more affordable end of the professional paints. Um, I do have some, what's it called? Oh, I do have some M-grams. M-grams are a lot softer. Um, which I kind of like because a lot of the other paints I have to constantly mediums to get them to flow better. However, if I ever want to do something with more body, the softer paint is going to be a hindrance. I'll be honest, I can't tell much difference between Gamblin and Winsor Newton. There's not a huge difference to me. I was tempted to buy like much more expensive paints to try out. But then I saw some of those prices and I just couldn't couldn't bring myself to, you know, spend the money on some of those paints. It's crazy how expensive some of them get. You're taking a class and he wants you to buy Michael Harding. Uh, yeah, those are expensive. That's what I'm talking about, Michael Harding or um I can't remember some of the other brands, but yeah, like I don't know. I'm sure they're good, but like yeah, they're crazy expensive and I struggle to imagine that the quality is that different, you know? What was the? I'm trying to remember the other brand. There was another brand that, like a French brand, that was thinking of buying some of. I was considering buying some of their paints, but it was just like, God, the prices. And the other thing too is that some of the explanation as to like why the prices are so different is like it doesn't even make sense because there'll be things like, oh, it's, there's more pigment in it and so on. I'm like, it doesn't mean anything. Like I can buy powdered pigment. Doesn't make it that doesn't make it better. Um it needs the right amount of pigment because it I also want it to like flow a certain way, move a certain way, and if it doesn't do those things, then it's a negative, not a positive. And you can just, you know, it like that's not the only consideration is how much pigment is in it. Vasari is you understand it's expensive, yeah. Vasari and there's just a few of them, out there that are uh, there's a term for it, but they're like you know the very expensive brands, and not even on the expensive like, and it's not even like I understand some pigments are like very rare and expensive, you know, but this, you know, it's like the same pigments as the other companies. And watching you and Nicholas and others, you create incredible paintings without overly expensive paints. Well, first of all, thank you. Um, and yeah, there's a lot of painters I know who don't use like very expensive paints. Uh, Jennifer Balkin uses, I think it's Gamblin and Winsor Newton paints for a lot of her paints. And maybe she has more expensive ones at home that she likes to bust out for something. I don't know. I mean, I've also seen her do paintings with Posca pens. So, you know. Um, yeah, you can probably go meet someone first. I mean, I was thinking around 7. Sorry, talking to partner. Tomorrow is my birthday, so I'm doing a birthday stream tomorrow. And by birthday stream, I mean I am going to paint and tell everyone it's my birthday, and uh, I might have a drink. I forget it's Sunday today. Things might close early. Oh, thank you, Carla. And yeah, I'm not. I have I still have some good whiskey from like 2 birthdays ago. So I go for whiskey generally speaking. Um, and Michelle, yeah, I have the really nice whiskey that you got me. That's the one I still have some. I haven't finished it. It will be after work stream, so it'll be in at night, like around 8:30 when I start streaming, which I know is very late for some people, especially in other parts of the world. So it's kind of a, it's just one of those things. I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, Carla, I don't think you need super expensive paints to do amazing painting. Um, I think that there's like a level of quality that you want to hit, but once you hit that level of quality, I do I do suspect that it's a bit of diminishing returns at that point. Super curious what class you're taking, but I also don't want to I don't want to put you on the spot. So I understand if you don't want to talk about. You really like the feeling of this painting and want to know the backstory, um, and also want to create your own. Glad you like it. Um, I mean, there's the backs. I don't know that there's necessarily a lot of backstory to this one because this one's from a photo shoot. Um, some friends of mine were kind enough to model for me. We did a photo shoot. I have a bunch of photos. There was definitely a overall vibe and like aesthetic I was shooting for. But this isn't one of those like it's not from reference that was like a candid shot or anything like that. Candid in the sense of like out and about in my life type of thing. It's an online class from artist Paul Foxton. He thinks if you all use the same brand, you can mix more accurately to what he's showing us. Yeah, since it's not in person. There's definitely some truth to that because it is more uniformed for sure. The thing I don't entirely understand is I guess the thing I'm gonna put this um like when it comes to mixing colors and paints, like I don't know. How can I put this? I think I wonder if people are making it harder, like making it harder than it really is in a way. I don't know. I feel like if you have a limited palette and you have good colors in your palette, it's it's less an issue of like the paints themselves and more of like, you know, getting your eye getting like the color to match what you want, not so much the paints themselves. Because with a palette this limited, it's like, okay, does it need to be cooler, warmer? Is there more yellow, more red in it? Like it's there's not a lot of options to go with. Of course, not everyone paints with a limited palette and so on. So, but yeah, standardizing the paints will match everything. It's crazy how much of a variation you get between between brands in that sense. Because even if something is the same pigment, like the same pigment code, can have wildly different colors to it. I got really quiet. I need to talk more. Yeah, it's hard to keep talking all the time. Uh, I yeah, just it is a challenge sometimes. To keep talking. I don't have anything to say necessarily, especially when waiting for a text response. You get it. Wait, what text response am I? I'm. You just asked someone for coffee. Um, yeah, no, it's definitely hard to keep talking about stuff. Like waiting for people to respond to your talking. So it takes a bit long to carry on the conversation. Oh yeah, no. The delay in streaming is uh that that is definitely a challenge. Streaming. You enjoy when I talk or paint? Oh, I appreciate that. I generally do both to some degree. How successful I am at either one at any given moment is debatable, but I can kind of juggle the two. But I definitely I don't have a prompt or someone, a subject or whatever. Like sometimes it's just, you know, blank brain kind of thing. Especially, obviously there are days that are better and day seems to be a really bad day. My brain just doesn't want to function. Yeah. Can talk about some things that aren't necessarily painting related. Quick and easy type thing. Like I went out and saw Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles yesterday. If you like the Turtles, I like animated movies like that. I think it's pretty good. Seems like a lot to read, chat, talk, and paint. Yeah, it can be definitely slows me down. I noticed that. It's a good thing. I have ADHD, so I can multitask. Yeah, that is true. It it would be harder if I didn't have it, I suppose. I don't know actually. And my assumption is that it'd be harder. I'm also listening to music. It's a random assortment, mostly rock. Um, right now it's Soundgarden. But the songs switch. Um, it's one of those randomly generated uh playlists based off of the things I like. I've been really getting into I discovered recently Sound Token, which is a very heavy band, but I really like it. The really getting into like enjoying discovering a new band. You, you like Soundgarden and a variety of music, except for death metal. Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah, if it's nothing but screaming, I struggle with it too. Not not my favorite, but I do enjoy some screaming in my music. I mean, I don't know that I listen. I don't know that I'd qualify it as screamo, but there's some screaming in it. I do think it's funny that some of the music is called so like fast and intense, then that it makes like bands like what's it called? Like corn or something feel light. I think that's kind of some screaming. Is opera screaming? No, opera's not screaming. Yeah. Um the band or so Sleep Token is the one I've discovered recently. I really like them. There's some screaming in it, but it's got a variety of stuff in it. It's very um it has a variety of stuff mixed in. Um I cannot hear what you're playing now. And the band I was listening other band. Oh, something was it something the Archers? It's my brain's so bad. Um oh, Unleash the Archers. That's what it is. They're a fun band. All their music is oh, what's it called? Um, like tells that they're like a story, like a fantasy story to it. Oh, you were blasting Enter the Sandman? Um, I didn't hear it. Hopefully, no one heard it on stream. Hopefully, the microphone didn't pick it up. Um, that wouldn't be good for the stream. Yeah, that's one thing I have to be careful about. YouTube has called live automatics bots that can pick up that stuff. I do not enjoy singing because I am very bad at it. Like I like singing to the music kind of thing, but I'm not good. I'm very, very bad. You think I'd improve with lessons? Maybe. I it can make me worse, so I assume it could help me get better. You enjoy it when people sing, like enjoy singing even if they're off key. Uh, you think lessons could be fun? You go anywhere and break out into song. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever do that, but lessons could be fun. I do think I do think I could do the like metal scream growl stuff. I think I could pull that off if I uh with lessons. I recently thought about I thought about maybe picking up a instrument as a hobby. I've often thought about it because I feel like it could be good to have, you know, a hobby that isn't related to painting or drawing. Ooh, a good growl is great. Yeah, I think I could learn that if because I can kind of do it already, but I one, I'm not on any kind of tone or anything, and second, it hurts my throat. So it's not something I want to do. There's uh there's a way of doing it without hurting your throat. I've always wanted to learn to play the guitar, um, but I worry that that would be too hard on my fingers or on my wrist. Um, with all the, you know, with all the drawing and painting I do, I worry that it would be too strenuous. The other thing I thought about learning drums, but the problem with the drums is they're big and loud and take up a ton of space. And I think my rhythm is trash. So I don't think that I have the I don't think that I can keep a beat like you would need to for drum. So maybe I'm just not destined to, for me. Like that could be the reality of things. Right now, my stomach's the one growling. Apparently, I'm. What about keyboard or piano? Uh, you know, less interested in those. I feel like keyboard is probably one of the best things to learn because with digital, uh, you know, digital music, you can make almost anything, I think, with a keyboard. Um, but yeah, um, um, we have a piano I could play on. True, true. Yeah. Yes, the excitement should be there. Yeah, it's definitely not there for piano. Like I said, I think technically speaking, you can do almost anything if you can play the piano because of all the digital stuff that exists now. When I was very young, I don't remember what age, but very young, I did take piano lessons for a very short. Um, but yeah, the type of music I like now, not so much piano style. I mean, I like piano, don't get me wrong, beautiful, but overall, not. Stretch time. for a second. One of the disadvantages of painting standing up, how much, like, how tiring it is. Have this chair, this stool thing, but I don't use it nearly enough. I tried sitting and painting, but that had its own problems too. Too much time sitting is not good either. But I do have something I can. Not the tastiest thing in the world, but you're supposed to stretch and walk after standing for a while. Yeah. Any any position, sitting, standing, whatever it is, that you're not moving, you know, is anything stagnant, I think is just not good. Yeah, the problem I ran into um, with painting and sitting is, well, there's numerous problems, but one of them is that I would stretch myself too much to try and get like to the painting in certain areas, and having to hold myself in that position for too long ended up being strenuous and causing like problems. I'm hitting the tripod. Yeah, for work, I have a sit-stand desk, but I definitely don't raise and lower it during the day. Yeah, worries, Carla. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate the company. You have a great Sunday. Get this shadow right. Or shadow or the terminator cover. Get Am I using some of the background color in the face? Yes, I am. Uh, yes. There's a lot of bounced colors going on. And also, I modified the image. So when I desaturated it and messed with it, it created some of that look. So yeah, I definitely am putting in some background uh, into the face. It's mostly that there's a lot of cool greens and blues. Generally, generally speaking, I think it's a good, you know, under normal circumstances, good practice to have that in there because of bounced light. Like it does, you know, there is bounced light and it light from the background leads in. Um, when I did photo editing, I would do send photo editing to people on green screens. Have to like color correct them because you don't realize how green they look from all the bounced green coming in. But once you take away that green color, immediately see it very, very epic. And that's for the strengths, a limited palette that because almost all the colors, with a few exceptions, made with the same paint, everything feels very connected and cool. And because I don't clean my brush when I paint in Gamsol. I clean it, but not in Gamsol. So there's leftovers in it. Tends to muddy up my paint a little bit, so I have to constantly compensate for that. But it also means that everything kind of mixes together. I only use um, uh, either walnut oil or uh, oleo gel. Um, uh, yeah, I don't use any medium other than like basically oil. So Nothing with oh, what's it called? Like no solvents. No solvents. And really the only reason I use any oil at all is just to help the paint, slide better. And I don't have a container of any kind of oil or anything to like swish my brush into to like clean it. I don't have anything like that. I mean, I take that back. I do. I don't have any while I'm painting. Uh, at the end, when I'm done painting, I do clean my brush that way. But man, noses, this can be very challenging. I know there's this idea that like there's no such thing as something hard to paint because everything like the way you paint one thing is the way you paint everything kind of thing. And there is a truth to that. But I often find noses to be very challenging. I know the shape of them, I understand it, but it's still there's so many like little interlocking little pieces that and facets to it that it can be very challenging. You agree roses are challenging? Um, you're hoping you understand more with this workshop. Well, roses are challenging for sure. Um, I said noses, but roses are challenging as well. Yeah, I'm sure the workshop will be fantastic. I look forward to hearing about it. When does it start? Yeah, roses are challenging. But so are roses. I've drawn roses before. They are challenging. Flowers flowers can be very challenging. They're very they're very intricate, like all the petals and everything. You started last Monday. Oh, he wants us he says he wants you to experiment. You're excited. Yeah. You love a beautifully painted large rose? Yeah. Um, who's a painter you like that does flowers really well? I assume you're familiar with Daniel Keyes. In fact, you probably like him. All right, let's try this again. Really getting that right. Daniel Keyes, Sherry McGraw, Klein, flowers and portraits. Really want to learn more. Oh yeah, happy to stream. Happy to help if I'm helping it. Absolutely. Thank you for stopping by and enjoy your Sunday. Have a great Sunday. You were thinking how sometimes a backstory can affect how one views a work of art. Yeah, for sure. You read of Enseling Effer, who was inspired by a poem written during the Holocaust to create a piece. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Um, uh, I definitely think that the backstory, um, huge effect. The story of the artist too can both positively and negatively. Um, the what's it called? Even the title of the piece can affect how you perceive it. Yeah, there's this one art piece that it was like a conceptual art piece, and I read this thing about, oh, I saw a video about it, and the like someone wrote an explanation of like their interpretation of the piece, which was so good. It turns out that wasn't the intention behind it, and that some of that interpretation was inaccurate. And the piece without the interpretation or with the like true concept or a story, was actually less compelling than the interpretation that someone wrote about it. Yeah, it was this art piece of a robot that like this big arm robot that's like collecting like on the end of the arm it has like a Ouija type of thing, you know, squeegee type of thing, and it's this cleaning up like this red oil stuff, and it's just constantly like pulling it in kind of thing. And the explanation of it was that it's the story that someone wrote about it was that it was like leaking and it was trying to like, you know, pull back the oil that it's losing and all that. And it turns out that wasn't what was happening. It was just it was designed, I mean, it was designed that way on obviously on purpose, but the story behind it was that the like futility of it kind of thing. I mean, it was still interesting. I thought that it was an interesting conceptual art piece. I did not do this story justice right now, but it was an interesting story. There are of course the stories of certain artists and how stories of their life and how like crappy they were. That definitely taints some artwork. You heard someone say if they hadn't read letters to Theo, they wouldn't appreciate Van Gogh's work the same way. Yeah, no, I definitely think the story of an artist can add um, a lot of appreciation to someone's work. Um, sure. I mean, even like what's it called? Um, like finding out, even stuff like finding out, you know, when the artwork was made in the artist's lifetime. Like there like um the lily pad paintings from was it Matisse or not Matisse? Getting names all confused. Um, or or what's it called? Monet. Yeah, that's it. Or another artist. He did a series of paintings, and they were like the last paintings he did before he killed himself. And they're like all black paintings. You're like, yeah, I can kind of see, I can see the connection. Not hidden very well, but it puts it into. But yeah, the Monet's lily pads. My understanding is that it was later in his life, and eyesight was going, and had health issues, and so that's why like the style changed a bit compared to previous work. Literally, because he was like going blind, so it affected his choice of contrast and colors and everything. I think I mentioned this before, but there's a book about the like working habits of artists or something like that, or the daily schedule of artists. I can't remember the exact name. And I found that book to be interesting. Not informative in a directional way of like, oh, I should do this or this, but just interesting to hear how certain people live their lives. Thought it was very interesting how much drugs and alcohol were involved in a lot of these things. uh, I found it interesting. Oh, let's see, 3.5 hours. I want to keep painting and streaming, but I can feel oh, my energy is just dropping today. I didn't start off very high on that aspect of um I think the painting is coming along. It's getting some more structure for sure. Um yeah, I think some progress was made today. I think I'm going to also cut the stream short a little. My goal is to try and stream 4 hours minimum. I am just apparently not up for it today. Yeah. Some days our brain can feel foggy, maybe not have as much energy. Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely have the brain fog going on today. It's all right. It's one of those things. So I'm gonna cut it slightly short today. Uh, Thank you, Carla, for hanging out with me. Thank you, everyone else, for hanging out with me. John, Michelle. I'm not going to remember everyone's name, so I'm just gonna end the shout outs right there because my memory for names is not good, anyways. But thank you, everyone. I will, yes, Leah. I will be streaming tomorrow. My stream should start around 8 to 8:30 Central Time. Um, if you can make it, great. I'd love to have everyone. Uh, you know, if you can't, totally understand. I'll be continuing this painting. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching and have a great weekend. Bye.